This is Kinda Murdery Season 1, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert, presented by Criminal Content.
You're rocketing down the 15 freeway between Vegas and LA. It's a scorched wasteland of airstream meth labs and unrelenting heat. This is no place you'd want to stop. But the car's on fumes, so you take the exit and you pull up to the gas station. It's abandoned, a concrete canvas that some local Michelangelos turned into the Sistine Chapel of spray paint penis. A grave marker for every crazy story lost in the desert sands. These are the ghost towns of the Mojave Desert. And this is Kinda Murdery. Hey everybody, and welcome to Kinda Murdery Season 1, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert. I'm your host, Zevon Odelberg. Thanks for deciding to be here. Today we explore the Kinda Murdery ghost town of Caliente, Nevada. Located just off the 93 highway, 150 miles northeast of Las Vegas and 740 miles from Salt Lake City, Utah, Caliente was founded in 1901 and called Culverwell after a nearby ranch. The name soon changed to Calientes in honor of the hot springs there. And then, in a fit of American linguistic pique, the plural S was dropped, giving birth to the modern town of just plain old Caliente, whose population of under 1,100 people qualifies it as the least populated incorporated community in the great state of Nevada. Like many ghost towns across our nation, places founded before the advent of Dwight Eisenhower and the Great American Highway, snake oil salesmen from the railroads tricked Caliente into thinking it was more than just a way station on the route from Salt Lake to Los Angeles. In 1923, the Salt Lake Railroad and then the Union Pacific built the Caliente train depot. And salad days followed as the population swelled to 5,000 people. But in the 1940s, the move from steam to diesel locomotives with their ability to travel greater distances without the need for water made Caliente a largely unnecessary stop on the trip from Salt Lake to Los Angeles. And so, only 20 years after its peak, Caliente's decline had already begun. The Caliente station serviced its last locomotive, the Amtrak Desert Wind, in 1993. Today, the impressive white stucco and red tile-roofed building is home to a railroad museum. And the town of Caliente is home to a 120-year history of being kinda murdery. Pretty darn murdery, and absolutely, positively, super duper murdery. Hey everybody, once again, thank you for deciding to spend your time with us. I'm here as always with Sean Christensen from Criminal Content. Hey Sean.
Hey buddy.
And my on-air producer, Adam Volrich. Say hi to the listeners, Adam.
Hey, I'm like the donkey to your Shrek, you think?
Spot on. And also joining me today as this episode's special guest host is animation producer, writer, director, and my buddy for almost 20 years now, the pride of Philly by way of the Emerald Isles, Mr. Niall Madden. Hey, Niall.
How you doing? Hey, how you doing?
So, Niall, I hear you used to do your animation in the Rams building across from the Fox lot. Apparently you've got a ghost story. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, that was a weird building. So this was the Rams. This is the building the Rams were based out of until from the 60s to about, I think, 1994 is when they left for the first time. The building was empty. All right, it was a 3-story building. The building was empty. It looked like it was designed by the same people who did like Hitler's bunker, because I was on the second floor. There was no windows, nothing. I don't even know who designs a building where there's no windows on one of the floors. It was just concrete. And the building was going to be renovated a year later, so they were like, all right, you can use this space and do it as whatever you want with it. I was on the second floor. Like I said, no windows, no furniture. There was just a draft at all times. Anytime I was in there,
How is there a draft in a windowless concrete bunker? Explain that to me.
No, I'll tell you. Explain this to me. How come when it rained, it literally poured onto my computer? There was a floor above me. There was office space above me. When it rained outside, it would come in through the ceiling and onto my desk and my computer with like asbestos raining down on top.
So you were a highly valued employee, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I was the only one in the building, and I was literally just in and out of a vocal booth doing the voices for this animation, like talking to myself.
Oh my God.
But strange things started happening because I'd be there like really late at night. There was a lot of family heirlooms in this building. They were using it for storage, and they were getting ready to gut the whole thing and renovate it. So people have been coming and moving boxes and going through all these things, right? The elevator used to be going up and down at night on its own. I'd keep the lights off. It was really strange. I don't know what the hell got into me. I just eventually stopped being like scared of it. You know, you spend so much time, you're not really scared. So
you went full Jack in the House in The Shining. It's like all work and no play makes Niall a dull boy.
I did.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
I did. And then one day, I'll never forget it. I could hear the movers. They were taking like the desks out upstairs, moving all this furniture around. They were talking forever. This is like I'm going to say like 9:30 at night on a Saturday night. And I went back towards the bathroom and looked out to the parking lot to see like if the moving truck was, how big it was, like how long they were going to be there. And I suddenly realized there was absolutely no one in the building but me. I was the only one in the building. Damn. But I had been hearing this. I mean, my blood ran cold. Oh yeah. I mean, my dog would go nuts in there the whole time, just be barking and whining. She fucking hated being in there. It was like, it was like the weirdest energy. Anyone who ever went in there was like, who the fuck designed this place? It is eerie.
But you loved it. You would stay there 24 hours a day with the lights off, is what you're telling me.
It's true, yeah.
It was your creative heaven.
Well, no, I mean, the building, I was like, I am home. I don't need to go home. I'm home.
Now I understand why I didn't hear from you or see you for years. You were.
I know. I didn't hear from him, see him for 4 years either. I had no idea about this weird building he was sort of.
Yeah, I was
man cave.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was an independent project that it was an insane workload, split up between two guys basically doing it all themselves instead of like a team of like 80
two guys,
people.
you and the building.
Yeah, the other guy was a ghost. I mean, at one point I was literally like, man, if there's a ghost, just please finish this for me. I can't finish this. It's too much work. Actually, it's scarier when you're not scared. That's the weirdest. I don't even know how to explain it. Mm-hmm. It's scarier when you're not scared and you know that there's something wrong with this building. It just eventually just stopped even bothering me.
You're just emotional.
Sorry?
The scary thing is when you realize that emotional numbness and horror are your new normal and you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, if I went in that building now, I'd probably be terrified, I'm sure. But like, because at first when you go in, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to work in here. This is terrifying. But
I'm glad we have actual evidence of your spiritual rebirth then. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm possessed now.
All right, guys, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Taking a quick look at the itinerary here, it's clear that the town of Caliente, Nevada, has plenty of attractions for Kinda Murdery tourists like us. First up, we'll be working on the railroad for a tale of murder, mayhem, pump, and dump in what I'm calling the Handcart Homicide. Next up, get ready for your skin to crawl as we discuss Caliente's most notorious and most disgusting criminal. Fair warning, it's the Hot Springs Motel and fundamentalist Mormon church leader Warren Jeffs. And finally, it's a tale of murdery humanity. Proof that people will kill each other for just about any reason. We'll hop over to Las Vegas to uncover the consequences of serving Grandpa the wrong damn sandwich. It's June of 1910, and Salt Lake Railway worker J.B. Murphy, out on the town in Caliente on a Saturday night for a good time, grievously wounds his brother Walter Murphy and murders his friend A.E. Wirt. Let's find out how it all went down in the tale of Handcart Homicide. The Murphy brothers, their names are Walter and J.B. Murphy. They're railroad laborers working in Clover Valley Canyon. It's Saturday night. and they go ahead and they hook up with their buddy. His name is A.E. Wirt. That's an unfortunate name. It's for an unfortunate man. They hook up with A.E. Wirt, and this is the part I love. They hop in a hand car because they're working on the track, right?
Why don't you explain to them what a hand car is?
It's that like Indiana Jones underneath the ground in the mine, pump it up and down like a shake weight, like this is how you get the thing moving hand car. So picture 3 grown-ass men working on the railroad, all crammed into a little hand car, like working the pump to get into town to party on a Saturday night. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really think that instead of these fucking scooters, we need that. That's what, we should be just getting around the city on these little carts that you pump.
Yeah,
track,
I agree.
You know?
That'd be amazing. That should be the new public transit. They should just lay handcart track everywhere. It'd be great cardio for everybody, you know. So they pump their way down into Cali. They pump their way down. Oh goodness!
A couple guys pumping away.
Yeah, 3 guys pumping away in a handcar. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. So they pump their way down into. I mean, it's actually an appropriate verb. Let's be honest.
You want to pump? Yeah. What's up, bro? Pump?
They pump their way down into urban Caliente on Saturday night to tie one on, and they do, and they just get. They get a big old bottle of whiskey, and they proceed to get shit-faced and shittier-faced. At some point in the night, it's getting. I imagine, because I've been there. One of these guys, one of the Murphy brothers, is just like really fucking belligerent drunk. And like when you're trying to take your keys away from your friend at the bar, he's like, "Hey JB, come on, I think it's time we head on back to the work camp. Maybe we've had enough to drink." And JB's like, "No, man, fuck you, man. No, fuck you." And then Wirt, and can you be Wirt for me, Niall? What do you think? If I was like, "No, man, you can't have my keys. Fuck you, man."
I was told we would be pumping and going home. I was told we would return to the camp to pump.
I'm not going home, man. Fuck you.
But I was told we would be pumping home very soon.
Right. Okay. So this is where Milton burns down the office. So as responsible as Wirt is, he actually gets mad. And the two of them start to like really fight and get into it. So like the fuck you turns into shoving, and like where it's like that's the they're fighting. And finally like JB's like, "Well, fuck this, I'm not doing this." And JB stalks off, walks right into the general store, which somehow is still open late on a Saturday night, buys a revolver. Like he's just going to straight up shoot his buddy who wanted to take his car keys rather than have him get a pump in the handcart DUI. This is a true story. So he comes out with the gun, at which point the Wirt's like, "Oh fuck, this looks bad." And Wirt picks up the whiskey bottle, and as he's like running back to the handcart, he tries to throw the whiskey bottle at JB, who just bought like a dirty Harry Wyatt buttline special at the Mercantile. And as he's chucking the bottle, JB fires 2 shots, one of which goes into his brother's shoulder, down his arm and out the hand. Ooh. And the other one goes straight into Wirt's chest and just kills him dead.
Damn.
Yeah, this sounds like my 20s. You go out for like a drink after work, and like fucking dead bodies, like fucking train pump carts, everything goes to shit. Like literally, this is a timeless tale. Like you could literally just put this on any college campus.
Basically, yeah. I just love the mental picture now, because at this point, JB probably is now like too drunk to pump. Well, the second one guy's dead, and his brother's down to one arm. So it's the brother doing like the stranger on the fucking handcart, just like trying to get
trying to pump out of town.
Yeah. It's for real, dude. Oh
man, did they get away? Did they get away with it?
No, I don't know. They did not. There was a preliminary hearing scheduled for old JB, the drunken shootist. I don't know what ultimately became of him. The thing is that these Caliente and all these places are so fucking murdery that like we seem to think all of this is a much bigger deal than any of them do. I mean, when I'm researching for the show, I couldn't tell you the number of times that, like, there's some heinous murder and they give it 2 inches and 3 sentences and never mention it again. And this was one of those cases. There wasn't, like, any follow-up.
I mean, we are talking about a town where you can hand pump into town on a Saturday night, get shit-faced, and then go next door and buy a gun. So, I mean, this is just normal business for them.
Yeah, I want to move to this town.
Right.
Where I belong.
That's America at the dawn of the 20th, end of the 19th century. I mean, that's why it always cracks me up with, like, really hardcore libertarians who are like, the America that I live in is an America where we don't have any welfare, we don't have any health care, everybody can have guns. You know, like, it's like, yeah, we had that. It was called, like, 1840 to about 1920, and it was fucking terrible. Like, it was Mad Max without the fast cars. Like, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
It was Mad Max with hand pumps.
Warning, this next story is not Kinda Murdery. It is super gross. We're about to take a look at the history of the Hot Springs Motel in Caliente and fundamentalist Mormon church leader, polygamist, cult godhead, and all-around terrible guy, Warren Jeffs. So, Niall, what we have here is the story of the Hot Springs Motel in Caliente where Warren Jeffs would marry underage girls, right? Yikes. You were kind enough to bring this story to us, so I'm going to go ahead and let you take the reins on this.
For 7 years, Warren Jeffs was conducting weddings between teenage girls, some as young as 14, and older men in room 15 at the motel 150 miles north of Las Vegas.
And by older men, you mean himself, right?
It's true,
Like-
yeah. It's
Okay.
true. So this motel was strategically bought for its privacy by 2 of the cult's members, Merrill Jessup and Nathan Jessup. First off, I would say anybody with the last name Jessup should just immediately be thrown in jail because they're probably up to something, and it's only a matter of time. So for 7 years, this motel was a secret sort of sanctuary site where these forced arranged marriages would take place. And maybe we should talk a little bit about who Warren Jeffs is for anybody who doesn't remember this crazy, crazy story.
Please, let's talk about it.
So Warren Jeffs was the leader of the FLDS. It's the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. That is the longest fucking name for a cult ever. I feel like they should have lost a few of these words.
This guy was basically Satan in a Mr. Rogers skin suit, right?
Right, yeah. He looked like a
Right,
Radio
yeah.
Shack employee. He literally looked like a white Steve Urkel. So
Oh my God.
they're a
He's
polygamous
like, I
sect.
did do that. Yeah,
Did I do that? Basically, the religious sect was an offshoot of. They were like the redheaded stepchild of the Mormon Church. They, in 1890, they split off specifically over the central issue of being able to marry polygamy, plural marriage.
Now, were they an offshoot though, or were they actually more like the pure root of the church? I feel like the modern Mormon Church is actually the offshoot. You know what I'm saying?
They've been like condemned, saying, "Hey, we have nothing to do with these cocksuckers over
but
here."
that's only because fundamentalist Mormon beliefs are not compatible with current modern morality, right? I mean, all I'm saying is the fundamentalist Mormons actually believe what Joseph Smith preached. Am I wrong?
Well, the federal government, I guess, stepped in over the issue of the plural marriages. I think the church basically decided that in order to move forward, like to have some kind of like symbiotic relationship with the federal government and protections, that they would give up the plural marriages. These people like drew the line in the sand and said, no. And
Don't you take my teenage bride? Yeah,
right.
hell no.
And Warren Jeffs, he had 78 wives himself. Yeah, which is not bad for a guy who literally looks like the Sandy Hook shooter. He looks exactly like that. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that he managed to swindle people like this.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I did. What I was thinking, because we chatted about this a little bit as you were researching, and it's pretty amazing, right? There's this thing with cult leaders where there's this insane double standard where they get to do one thing, and everybody else has to do something else that's usually horrible, yet they don't raise an eyebrow. Like with the Heaven's Gators and the Hale-Bopp Comet, that guy was like, so all you dudes, you have to cut your nuts. All the dudes have to cut their nuts off except me, right?
Right.
Or
That's the quintessential cult move. The ugly leader shows up one morning talking about a vision he had from God where all the men besides him have to surgically remove their penis.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like literally, that's what happens here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing this guy does, his father was actually the head of the church. He dies in the late 90s. And the first thing Warren Jeffs says is, Warren Jeffs basically lets his wives know that they're all now his wife. He just instantly
his father's wives are now his wives?
Yeah. He just picked them up. So
I mean, we've all wanted to bang our stepmom at one time or another, but that's another level.
Well, then he just immediately starts looking around the room, seeing the threat of all the other sort of fertile men in the room. Because you got to remember, I think this guy could probably, first off, this guy definitely had a micro penis. You could just tell by looking at him. I think this guy could do maybe one push-up max on his knees.
Yeah, and didn't you tell me that he had 78 wives but only 3 children? I mean,
yeah, that doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, that is a strange. Yeah, that's an amazing.
That's a micro penis. He probably had to come in a petri dish first, and then use like an eyedropper for the 3 that he got.
I don't know, man. He had an insatiable appetite for fucking.
Yeah.
And
so
he
what did
took
he do
first-
with the fertile boys? Didn't he have some? He would like send them off or something. What was that?
Yeah, he took all like anybody aged 11 or 12. He just like immediately sent them out into the desert. They called them the Lost Boys. They would just like drive them out like Harry and the Hendersons to like the edge of the woods, basically, and just be like, go home. This is your home. Get out of here. They would just literally leave them in the desert to die. And they, when they came back, he was like, don't look them in the eyes. Forget about them. They're gone. Only look at me. Those boys have bigger penises.
And didn't he give them jobs with like rusty farmer? It's like your job is to clean the combine tractor with your penis or something. Like weren't they like basically highly dangerous things?
Any boy that was like a threat, any boy that was like attractive or seemed like he would grow up to be strong, big and strong, anyone who could challenge his supremacy was pretty much banished to work with the most dangerous machinery. So they're just basically reaching their arms into spinning rusty blades while he's just kind of standing guard, being like, yeah, get on in there with your hand all the way in there. I swear it's in there. It's it was very obvious. And another really, really interesting part about the uniform look of all the women is, and this is 1997 this starts. They all look exactly like Elaine Bennis season 1 Seinfeld. They have that giant wall of hair, and they're all wearing like a huge cloak down to the ankles. It's amazing. It just looks like the guy's obsessed with Seinfeld with Elaine.
So you're saying he had the hots for Julie Louise Dreyfus and married teenage her 78 times?
Yeah, and a huge wall of hair. He loved the wall and the fabric. Yeah. I think every single cult ends up exactly like this. They eventually start looking like they're wearing an oversized men's shirt from like the discount rack at Marshall's or Ross. You know what I mean? I don't know where these clothes come from or what the inspiration is.
So you're telling me Ellen DeGeneres escaped from a cult at some point? Because you're just describing her fashion choices right now.
Yeah. She's handsome, dresses handsomely. So yeah, every one of these marriages took place in room 15, which is just strange. I mean,
holy Lord.
Yeah, I'm just picturing this like motel. It's a very unassuming building. It was sold after the scandal, so it was just sold off to the Las Vegas real estate group. But I'm just picturing like Castle Grayskull with like the thunderclouds above it. It's like the most insane. I mean, it has to be fucking haunted. It has to be.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, this is a vile story.
Yeah.
Does he live in Caliente, or he just marries there?
No, that's interesting. He would travel 160 miles. Specifically, they would all caravan together. Specifically because child trafficking laws weren't as explicit in this part of Nevada as it was in Utah and Arizona. He was eventually arrested in a compound in Texas.
So this is horrible. So basically, like, I don't know if any of you guys read epic fantasy novels, but I do. And there's this concept where like a very powerful sorcerer can create like a pocket dimension where like it's just a small reality that he's able to sort of live in command that's outside of our reality. So it sounds like Caliente, and more specifically the Hot Springs Motel, was like Warren Jeff's pocket dimension. Like he was going there because he owned the town, he owned the motel, and back to this idea of liminal space and basically limboing under or around the 10 Commandments. He went there to do exactly that,
it's the all-time worst pocket dimension.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he had 78 wives, but I think most of them were adult-aged wives. But yeah, no, teenagers were married.
Well, that's a nice
to
concession that he made there.
Yeah, and it was against their will. He even he controlled even when people had sex, everything. That's just so obviously. I don't know how business is at the Hot Springs Motel.
First of all, in answer to that, as we were researching this, I actually saw quite a few very recent guest reviews about how great the Hot Springs Motel is, and I kept thinking to myself, boy, they must really just not know a thing about Mr. Jeffs here. Now, there's another motel down the road.
Warren Jeffs wrote every one of those Yelp reviews?
Yeah, right, under pseudonyms from like the prison workstation.
Yeah. I mean, he did actually. Library. It was a part of it was basically a part of his organization because members owned it. So, I mean,
Wow.
What eventually happened to Warren?
He is serving a life sentence. He still has his ardent followers though. I mean, a lot of them have moved on, but I think he was still trying to maintain sort of control from the inside, communicating with them. But
wow,
I'm amazed he's still alive actually, because very often like heinous pedophiles and other prisoners like that are murdered by prisoners in prison. But
I gotta believe. I just wonder if a guy who's capable of doing something like this is just really flexing in prison. I mean, the fact that he's alive, he must be a badass in prison if he's still alive.
I looked up a recent picture of him, and he does have his trapezius muscles
I've seen that.
From
It looks
the
like
one
American
side
History
of
X.
Yeah, from one side of the triangle to the other is like 2.5 feet. Like he's got like a pyramid of Giza neck. So you might be right that he's just like the alpha gross, and they just can't really mess with him.
Yeah, he's a tremendous piece of shit. There's no doubting that. So the motel was purchased in 1997, and for the next 7 years, this location was used for these secret arranged marriages.
So it started in 97, and then it ran until about 2004, and then he was on the run from then until 2006 when he was captured. Is that right?
That's right.
Basically
yeah.
the timeline. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, and he was eventually caught, I believe, in Texas. I mean, this guy was all over the place. He had everybody working for him. Everybody handed all their money over. I mean, yeah. And he had 10,000 followers. He had quite a cult.
Right. Well, and you can imagine that with the Mormon church, even the regular Mormon church, every Mormon gives 10% of their income to the church. So if you all have like 50 to 78 wives, underage or not, let's hope not, and then there's offshoot families at all, you can imagine that a polygamist cult is just going to be an incredible money minting operation at some point, just from all the offspring, right?
It's true. Speaking of the Church of Mormon, like he looks like Mitt Romney's parasitic twin. They kind of have a similar look if you squint your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like Mitt Romney's out there marching with Black Lives Matter, and Warren Jeffs is out there marching with the Boogaloo Boys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, got it.
He looks like Quado from Total Recall.
Oh my God, good call.
Yeah, very good call. He also looks like the Scream
Cohagen!
painting.
Sorry.
Cohagen, give some people the air!
I thought you said you had 9 mouths to feed.
What was that line he said?
I forget. That's probably one of the best quoted movies, See you at the party, Victor.
So we've been talking about how these polygamist families have got to have, at least some of them, if not Jeffs, just grips of kids, right? And Niall, I know you're from a an Irish Catholic immigrant family, right? And you had a lot of brothers and sisters, didn't you?
Yeah, there were 6 kids in my family. My dad was starting a cult, and he kind of stopped short. I swear to God, I think he literally just had this many kids to shovel the snow in the winter.
Yeah,
It was like,
what was it like? I mean, what was it like? Because I was initially an only child, and then my sister was adopted when I was 5. So what was it like growing up with all these siblings? How many were there? And did you have were there special rules to maintain order that your family would enforce to deal with just all the rugrats running around all the time?
Yeah, my mom ran it like a North Korean labor camp. I swear. I mean, listen. We had an animal hospital in our home because my mother, father are veterinarians. My brother's a veterinarian. My sister's a veterinarian.
Wow.
Her husband's a veterinarian.
Wow.
So the family practice was there. So if it was snowing or there was ice rain outside, they would lock the doors and make us stay outside because a slip and fall lawsuit or something would have ended everything. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it was
They'd lock
amazing.
the kids outside so they could give a cow a vasectomy or something. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was only cats and dogs, but
Okay.
but yeah, no. I mean, snow days. Every kid prays for the snow days. In my house, it was the door would just kick open. It'd be 4:30 a.m. and my dad'd be holding a fucking shovel and one of those giant, long, old snowboarder hats, just mocking us, being like, "Get out there!" If they ever call you taking a nap, oh fucking all hell would break loose. You were literally not allowed. To this day, I think I have a sleep disorder because of it. Because every time my eyes start to close, my head snaps up. But you were supposed to literally just roll your sleeves up and take care of things around you. That's just the way we were. It would start you'd start hearing kids. They'd start their violin practice at literally 5 o'clock in the morning in the bathroom, 2 inches from where you were sleeping. And it was just going on all day. My mom be screaming, running around with a metronome, going from room to room where other kids were playing violin. They had a whole thing. My mom would do a thing just to get in your fucking head. She would intentionally change the time of the clock to be either 10 minutes slow or 10 minutes fast.
Oh my
just
God.
constantly just to get in your head to rattle your cage. I remember my youngest brother, they used to do a thing and they would kick the door up and flick the lights on and just scream math problems in his face. And then literally just stare him down, point at him, and then back out of the room, say nothing, and just shut the door and leave the lights on.
Were they just this is what it was like during the Troubles? What was their excuse for mentally terrorizing you?
I think they just, they were he's sleeping good, a little too good.
Wake that little shite up. Yeah.
It's true, man. It's true. I'll never forget my dad telling me that about Liam. He's I don't know, he's got great grades, but he's a little too comfortable, a little too happy. We can't figure it out. He's sleeping very soundly. I was really fucked up.
Oh my God.
So they started creating little ways to rattle his cage and get in his head.
Speaking of not being able to sleep soundly, you just said that your house was full of veterinarians and was essentially an animal hospital. So seeing as this show is Kinda Murdery, was there anything Kinda Murdery about living in a house full of veterinarians and animal medicine?
Yeah, well, animals die. So the basement, the unfinished part of the basement, there was a freezer in there. I'd have to carry the bodies down.
Oh my God.
my gosh.
Oof.
And then we would reanimate them.
Pet Cemetery was based on your family.
No, but you kind of see that. I mean, it is
Well
a strange thing with a house. There's a lot of energy floating around because a pet is. Your pet is basically the perfect member of the family. You can project whatever relationship onto it that you want. It doesn't talk back. It's like a one-sided conversation.
So, with the way you talk about your parents just fucking with you guys, it's I picture it's your birthday instead of cake and ice cream. It's hey son, I got you a capsicle, and they just bring it out frozen solid. Just try it, it's delicious.
No, they're not like that. Yeah. No, dude, I'll tell you a really good story. I remember one time. My mom's you need to go down and talk to your father. He wants to talk to you about something. It was another one of these things being you better put your nose to the grindstone, you're going to work harder. But I will never forget, he had a laser and he was cutting a cat. I said, what are you doing? He's I'm amputating his penis. This is a true story. Yeah, he had been hit by a car and he had to amputate the cat's penis.
So that's what happened to Warren Jeffs. He ran into your father on an off day.
Well, he said it to me, though. He said it to me. And he just stared at each other, and he didn't smile. And it was like, whose lip is going to tremble and break and just start laughing first? Yeah. No, I mean, another thing that I just remembered this. Anytime, we had these little Jack Russells, and anytime they were father and son, anytime my dad or mom was yelling at us, they would start barking at my parents. They hated the energy of people fighting and yelling. But then they did this one thing, this amazing technique that would stop every fight, like in its tracks, is the son would lay on his back, and then the dad would come up and like lick his balls in front of us, just like in between the two fighting parties, because you could not maintain. He would just be on his back with his one eye staring at you while his son filleted him. You could not maintain your anger. You couldn't even focus on what the fuck you were even arguing about, and it was just like every time. And no one wanted to be the one to address the fact that the dog was filleting. The father and son were filleting each other and staring at you with their eyes.
I hate to deflate the hilarity, but like what I'm hearing from you is that these dogs were so emotionally traumatized by the fighting that they would rather like incestually fillet each other than listen to you guys yell. Like that's just awful.
Just doing anything they could to break the tension.
Like literally anything.
They were just
like
geniuses.
that
They
old
were
joke, the
geniuses.
aristocrats ain't got nothing on Niall's Jack Russells. Dear Lord.
Yeah, man. The dogs were just frantically barking all the time because everybody, there's thousands.
Hey, Dad, come lick my nuts. That's what the barking was.
No, thousands and thousands of people will be coming and going from this house every single year. And the dogs were just like, I was talking to my brother Kean about this, but my dad would walk up. The Jack Russells would run up to his pant leg and sniff it. And they would smell
They're like, I smell balls.
No. They would get like this like junky reaction where their jaws started chattering like it was like this chattering. They couldn't control it, and it was literally they fucking hated all these dogs coming and going. They had no idea what was below. They were like, what the fuck is down there? Every time
I know you have a freezer full of cat sickles. Stop holding out on me.
Oh man. Just thinking of the endless hours of therapy maybe you've been either wanting or needing or having.
I'll tell you what, I loved it, man. I loved it. I was like, I'd never been alone, you know what I mean? So you just always, like, the walls were sweating, you know what I mean? We were just like, there was no space, and it was great. Like, we had originally our living room was 10 by 10 foot, and all 8 people we crammed there with the dogs filleting each other to watch a movie on like a 13-inch TV. And I'll tell you what, my dad loved it. My dad loved it. He was like, this is what it's about. He loved it, man. It was like the American dream. It really was.
Sean, I think as Niall's close friends for the last 15 years or so, I think we are his group therapy. I mean, I feel like this is part of why you're so sick.
Everything that he's been building up over the years is a recorded Zoom meeting, a random recorded Zoom recording of a podcast called Kinda Murdery. This is what he gets.
Yeah,
he's literally never told anyone about this. This is it. We're getting it right here.
It won't make the cut. God. Trust me, it'll never come out.
It will.
It's making the cut. 1921, sort of Boardwalk Empire era. And you'll forgive me, guys, if speaking of boardwalks, we're actually going to travel now from Caliente over to Vegas because I found this story and I couldn't really leave it alone. So the scene of the crime is Lambert's Restaurant in Las Vegas, where a 60-year-old general contractor, Marcus Worley, is shot and killed by 54-year-old land and water employee Nick Dugan. This really is the tale of the hangry grandpas. I mean, especially in 1921, I mean, in the late 1800s, average lifespan was your mid-40s. So these guys are like full-on Santa Claus old at 54 and 60. Just keep that in mind. Like jolly, like geriatric dudes.
Wow.
So Dugan orders a sandwich.
I think we're going back to a time like that.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, living to your mid-40s is going to be like you're a grandfather.
So, yeah, Lambert's Restaurant. So Dugan orders a sandwich. Let's call it a pastrami Reuben on pumpernickel. I mean, they didn't specify, but he orders a sandwich and he orders some coffee. And the sandwich and the coffee comes. And he picks up the coffee, he ordered it black, and he takes a sip, and he goes, oh God, that coffee's hot. Oh, I burned my tongue. Oh. And he freaks out. And like, while his tongue is burning, while he's feeling vulnerable and triggered, he's like, it burns so bad. And he tries to take a bite of his pastrami to just like calm down the scald. And it ain't pastrami. It's like a fucking tuna melt on sourdough. And he looks down and he's like, this isn't my fucking sandwich either. And he just turns on the waitress and he just starts chewing her ass like so hard. Like as in 1921 reporter said, he called her the most vile names that had ever been uttered in the history of Las Vegas dining. Wow. I mean, so you can imagine the words chosen. But
he was making words up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh my God. At which point, Mr. Marcus Worley, 60-year-old contractor, just being a decent, upstanding gentleman, he turns to Dugan and he says, hey, man, just like quiet down. Like, don't talk to her like that. She doesn't deserve it. At which point, Dugan turns his rage on Worley and he's like, you're going to eat my sandwich like up your ass, bitch. He goes off on the other Santa Claus guy. And then ultimately, when Worley's like, well, no one's going to talk to a lady like that around me, Dugan pulls out a gun and shoots him dead on the spot. Whoa. Like, he literally verbally abuses the waitress and then murders the patron that asked him to stop, all because like his coffee was hot and it was the wrong sandwich.
Wait, was he let go under the stand your ground?
Yeah, right. No, what really gets me, right, is this idea that, like, these days people are like, oh, liberal snowflakes, oh, millennials are so precious, they all want their avocado toast or something. So here's a dude that was the gruff grandfather of the greatest generation who's gonna, like, rip a poor girl down to shreds and then murder a guy because he got the wrong sandwich and his coffee was a little too hot for his precious tongue. You tell me, like, what generation is a fucking snowflake now?
Yeah,
give me a break,
who's triggered in this situation.
Right. Like,
I mean,
it's
who
not
among
just
us has not been there and wanted to murder for a...
you put your big boy pants on and eat the goddamn tuna melt, is what I have to say.
I do want to know what the sandwich was, though. I think that makes all the difference. It may have been worth it.
Like the one that he didn't get was like so good.
Just like fucking sliced onions on a fucking moldy bread.
Like the waitress actually deserved the abuse and Worley actually deserved to die because the sandwich I'm supposed to get is that good. It's like basically, so in your scenario, Dugan basically had to work a handcart for like 50 miles uphill in the snow just to get his sandwich. Like he's just about dead. The sled dogs have already like either died or run off, and it's the Iditarod, and he stumbles through the door after dreaming about the sandwich in his snow tent for 6 months, and then he gets the wrong sandwich.
Right, with the boots with his toes sticking out of him.
All right, well, it's time for our 5-star listener review section. This week's review comes from Adelina and Chase, and it says, fun listen, 5 stars. I got into the adventures of murder, but Zevon may have said Dallas, Oregon, when he meant the Dallas, Oregon. I could be wrong, but I am an Oregonian. Smiley face. Never mind, I just looked it up, and there is a Dallas and a the Dallas, Oregon. Well, thank you, Adelina and Chase. One thing's for sure, I do say a lot of stuff wrong on this show, but everybody, please do subscribe, rate, review, and we might read your review on the air. Thanks for listening. Niall, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I mean, I don't know that I've laughed that hard in a long time. I really appreciate your time, your friendship.
Guys, I really appreciate you even letting me doing this with you.
Oh man, you are phenomenal. Thank you.
I loved it. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Well, for Sean Christensen, Adam Volrich, and special guest host Niall Madden, I'm Zevon Odelberg, and this has been Kinda Murdery.
This is Kinda Murdery, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert, presented by Criminal Content. You can find us online at kindamurdery.com and on all social media at Kinda Murdery. Email us at contact@kindamurdery.com. Listen to us on all your favorite podcasting apps, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Google, and more. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends about the show.